Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Legion by the Numbers. My name's Joe Eames, and in this episode, we are going to be looking at the Pike Syndicate Foot Soldiers and comparing the damage output of their two heavy options, and we'll contrast it to like a typical core unit. Now, before we get into this, of course, I want to remind everybody, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you like this content. We come up with a fair number of videos every week, and it's nice to get notified when new videos come out. Now, another thing I want to say before we really dig into this is, personally, I couldn't have been more disappointed when they announced that Pikes were coming out for Legion. I thought they were just super dumb in the cartoons, which was fine. They were just this like nameless, faceless enemy. And so when, I don't know, I guess it was FFG, or AMG, whoever it was, decided to put them into the game, I have no idea what they were thinking. I am so completely uninterested in them. I haven't even bothered to pre-order, which I pre-ordered just about everything. I thought the Kashyyyk wave was great, but I don't think they're cool. If they'd have to be like, they'll have to end up being like super awesome. And I don't think we really understand yet how they're going to affect the game, but I'm not interested in owning them or painting them. But nonetheless, they are a unit and they're new. And so we're going to do a little analysis here and have some fun. And hopefully you like them better than I do, so that this is good content for you. I'd rather, seriously, rather than they came out with anything, literally anything else than these guys. Black Center, about number 2 on the list. I don't know if I've even remember seeing them in the cartoons, but there's my hot take for the day. All right, so we're going to look at their offensive capability. We can look at their defensive capability maybe later on in another video. We're just going to be looking at their offensive capability here. Pike Syndicate Foot Soldiers, their attack is a black die, and there's 4 units in the base unit. So a lot like, as far as damage output, similar to Rebel Troopers or to Clone Troopers with that black die. But of course, things get interesting when you put in the heavy weapon and the personnel. So we'll put in a Pike Syndicate Foot Soldier. The Capo is kind of... it doesn't really make much of a difference other than you get that Surge 1. So that actually could be really nice because they already have independent dodge, but dodge doesn't help in offense. So if you're looking for some offense, Surge, they already surged to defense, which means that the Surge token is only going to help with offense. So we'll check this out both with the Capo and with the Foot Soldier, but we'll start with just the Foot Soldier. And then when we look at the numbers, we'll add in those Surge tokens and see how much difference they make. Earlier, yesterday, it was also spoiled some of the command cards. So it does look like they have the ability to get some aim tokens through some of the command cards. So we'll also throw that in. For the heavy weapon, we have 2 options. The Electro Whip Soldier, which is 2 red, but at a very short range. Has the immobilize and the suppressive, but kind of a cool unit to throw into one of these. I don't know how much you want your core troopers to be your close in, but I could see that if you had something like this, you might make Jedi a lot less interested in closing in and jumping in on you because you can do some kind of decent melee damage and the immobilize, and they've got to come in with a strike and kill so many units to get down to that heavy unit to actually kill this off. So this could be some anti-Jedi defense, but otherwise, it really kind of hurts the offensive capability because it's only range 1. The other option is this Disruptor Soldier, range 1 to 4 with impact, a red and 2 black. I actually kind of like this one. It's pretty interesting, and the range is nice, and a red and 2 black at range 4 by itself isn't too bad. So let's start off with that one. And we'll look at the Disruptor Soldier, and then we'll look at the Whip Soldier. So altogether, we have 73 points. The only thing that could help here would be targeting scopes, because they do have those command tokens to get aims. And then grenades aren't going to make much sense on this. Maybe if you had the Whip Soldier, grenade might make a little bit more sense because you want to get into range 1. But let's outfit it like this for this Disruptor. That's 73 points. And we know that we got 5 black die for the 4 base units plus the additional 1. And then this Disruptor Soldier has 2 black and a red, so that's going to give us a total of 7 black and 1 red. So 7 black and 1 red, and that is at range 3 and below. Of course, at range 4, there's only those 3. It does have the impact. No surges out there. There's some defensive capabilities, danger sense, outmaneuvers, and independent dodge 1, but no real offensive capabilities other than what comes off your heavy weapon or your foot soldier. The foot soldier does get the cash aim, so aim tokens are going to be potentially a big part of these. So we'll look at these with and without aims. So let's add in the impact 1, and then we don't have any surge. And let's just, again, I really like, I think red and heavy cover is kind of the, with no surge is kind of a good baseline for how to check these out. So looking at that, we're going to be doing 1.18 points per shot. So at range 3, shooting at red into heavy cover, you're on average going to be doing killing off 1 unit or 1 point of damage. If they are something, if they don't have any cover, then you go up to 2. So about 1 more point of damage on those 2. Now let's, there are a couple of things we want to look, variations we want to look at. Look at it with the aim token. It was 1.18. We're going against red heavy cover with the aim. That takes it all the way up to 1.17, and the chance of doing 0 damage drops from 28% down to 14%. So that's a pretty big drop. And I think that surge token, the surge token, that comes not with the foot soldier, that comes with the Capo. So we'll look at that here in just a second. So with the aim, that's kind of what we're looking at, anywhere from 1 to 2 points of damage on a variety of things. Obviously, if we were going against no cover white like B1s that weren't in cover with an aim, wow, that was, impact 1, not impact 2. That's a lot of damage against B1's 4.5. So you're killing off 4, a couple of shots, and you can clean out a B1 unit. Red, no cover with the aim takes you all the way up to 2.7. So if you can catch a red save unit outside of cover and get your aim token, use that cached aim, you're really doing good. The other scenario we should look at is if they have armor. So let's go with white, search to block and armor. With that impact 1, what is that doing? 1.5 points of damage, pretty good. Red, no surge, the heavier armor, 1 point. So still definitely worth shooting into armor. So overall, offensively for a core unit, pretty good. The points per hit vary a bunch. Obviously, B1s with an aim, you're getting 26, and I've been doing the armor with the aim. Maybe we should look at doing the armor without the aim. 1.3 instead of 1.5, and 0.99 instead of 1.1. So the aim makes a little bit of difference with the armor, but not crazy amounts. Makes a bit more difference when you're shooting against troopers. So last scenario let's look at is if you're shooting actually at range 4. What does that do? So that gun, the Disruptor gun, was 1 red and 2 black. So we'll take this down to just 2 black. Still have the impact 1. Gonna have an aim token again, fairly it is an option there. So let's look at shooting at red troopers into heavy cover with that scenario. And looks like that's 0.23. So you don't want to shoot that gun by itself against red into heavy cover. But what if you have the aim? How much difference does that make? Just not quite enough. What if they don't have cover? Now you're talking. Now if we're going to shoot at red troopers without cover, you're probably going to do a point of damage. White, search to block, definitely doing a point. And white B1s without cover, a little over 1 point. So the range 4 weapon is useful, but you don't want to shoot it at something against cover. But what about even if you have the aim token? What about armor? So white, search to block. Oh, that has been looking at armor. Well, there we go. We have our armor numbers. You're going to be you don't want to be shooting against. Let's see. We were looking at red with armor, without the aim, 0.6. and red with armor with an aim 0.7. So once you start getting the aim, that's when shooting at range 4 against red armor is actually going to be okay. Let's go white surge to block 0.8 against white surge to block armor if you have the aim. Now you're doing 1 point of damage. So shooting against armor is actually okay. A lot better if you have the aim than if you don't have the aim. That will give you a lot better chance of pretty much always doing 1 point of damage to armor. So now let's take this off and look at just the long range weapon without the aim against like red troopers in heavy cover. 0.16, of course, you just don't want to do that at range 4. You're just not going to hit anything. Even with the aim, you've got a 75% chance of doing no damage. But what if we don't have any cover? Now we're about 50-50 against red. Again, oh, that was red surge to block. We need to fix this. Let's try this again. Red, no surge, heavy cover, with no aim by itself. He's a 0.23. Not a big difference. With the aim, we're doing 0.4. Still not really cutting it. But what about no cover without the aim, 0.87. Now we're starting to, now that's worth it. If you can shoot at range 4, something that doesn't have cover with or without the aim was 0.87, with the aim 1.2. So you are doing some decent, you just don't want to shoot into cover. White, no block, no aim with heavy cover. 0.39 still doesn't really do much. With the aim, you're still at 50-50. You don't want to be shooting at even B1s inside of heavy cover. But once they get out of cover, now you can start doing some real damage. 2 points of damage against B1s at range 4 with no cover if you have that, if you could take that aim. So this is one of those scenarios where it probably makes a lot more sense to jump into range 3 if you can, to move and shoot instead of aim and shoot. If you want to use your cached aim token, so you just have it, or if you got an aim token from somewhere else, that will be even better. But that is that's the Disruptor Soldier. Now let's add in the Capo instead of the Foot Soldier, which gives that. So the Capo has, instead of the aim token, they have Surge 1. So you're going to have a Surge token. It's a little bit like having a Reliable 1. Your courage and your courage is increased by 1, which is nice. That might be really nice in these guys because they can't use the courage of a non commander, another faction's commander. Otherwise, they might panic. So I can imagine seeing people use this Capo a lot. But with the Disruptor, that takes them all the way up to 80 points. But having that Surge token available to you can make a difference. We've seen that before. It won't make a difference on defense. You can only use on offense. So if we do that, now the points change to 80. And let's go back to the full 7 black, 1 red. We still have the impact 1. We'll go with no aim and look at red and heavy cover, but we'll give them that. Let's just rerun the numbers with them without the surge roll to see the difference. So without the surge token, it's 1.1, but with the surge token, it goes up all the way up to 1.5. So that surge token makes a really big difference. An aim token will take you up to 1.8. So the surge is almost as good as an aim. If you have both of them, you're getting up to two points of damage against red, no surge to block in heavy cover. So that Capo really does make a pretty good difference there. And points-wise, he was 80 with the surge token. If we get rid of the surge token and go down to 73, so we were 40 points per hit with the surge token. Without the surge token, 41 points. So it's actually more efficient to have the Capo if you're shooting against red heavy cover inside of that range 3. So there we go. That's the Capo with the Disruptor. Now let's look really quickly at the other heavy weapon option, the Electro Whip Soldier. He's 2 red, so instead of a red and 2 black, it's going to be 2 red. You have the Immobilize, you have the Suppressive, but you're only at range 1. So we're going to get rid of 1 red, or 2 red, and we're going to have, we got rid of 2 black, we add 1 red, and our points go down to 66. Because he's just a ton cheaper. Wow, that's a ton cheaper. So even with the Capo, you're now down at 66 points. You're only going to be doing this kind of damage at range 1, but you're going to have the surge token, maybe have the aim. So at range 1, things aren't going to be in heavy cover nearly as much. So let's look at this with the aim and the surge token with that Capo at heavy cover 1.8 against red surge, but you're probably gonna have a good chance of getting them out of heavy cover. And now you're doing 2.8 points of damage there. So a pretty big difference. It might be even worth it at that point to go in and grab those frag grenades, because now you can switch people to red damage die and you have surge to crit. So suddenly those other 5 units are going to be doing red. That would be crazy. And that only takes you up to 71 points of damage. You have to close into range 1 to get to there. But with 71 points of cost, that takes you all the way to 0 black, 7 red, surge to crit, red with no cover, because cover at that point they may not have. You have the surge token, you still have the impact. Now you're doing 3.3 against red in heavy without cover. In heavy cover drops down to 2.3. So a lot of damage, but man, getting into that range 1, I see this more as a unit that's about waiting for the Jedi to attack, and then kind of counterattacking, trying to close in there and immobilize them with that whip. And you just use them maybe at range 3 with just the black to attack. So let's look at that. A surge and aim. And now we got 6 black, because everybody's just using black. So the 4 base, the extra, the Capo, and the whip soldier at range 3, you've got 6 black. You don't have the impact. That didn't matter anyway. You can have a surge token because of the Capo, probably get an aim token, red, heavy cover. What does that do? 1.3. So still not a terrible amount of damage against things in cover. Against armor, it's not going to be hardly anything. You're going to be looking at really, just less than a point of damage if you can. So kind of a desperation shot at range 3 against armor if you have to. Just crit fishing with those 6 black die. But still not bad to actually attack at range 3. You're still going to be able to do a point of damage and be a really good counter to when a Jedi comes in. You really make people think twice about how they're going to move their Jedi in on your units when you've got those additional melee damage and the immobilized token. So there we go. There's our analysis of the Pike Syndicate Foot Soldiers. Again, I think even though the unit has some interesting aspects to it, I think the dumbest unit, was very disappointed that was what they came out with. I want Gungans. I really do want Gungans. I think this would be awesome. I'm excited to paint me up a little Jar Jar. But even though I didn't like Jar Jar in the movies, I think it would be really fun in Legion. But the Pike's Syndicate, I just still have very little interest in them. But there we have it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you in another video.